It is now 6:03 PM, and a quorum of members is present, so the meeting of the Board of Education of the School District of New Berlin is called to order. Please call the roll.
Ms. Crosby, Mr. Helmer, Ms. Connick,
Here.
Ms. Schultz,
Here.
Mr. Seidel, Ms. Spindler,
Here.
Mr. Zelinski.
Here.
Ms. Crosby said she will be here late. Mr. Helmer also might be here. He'll be late, and Mr. Seidel will not be here this evening. I would entertain a motion to recess to closed session.
Yeah. Second, or so moved?
No, I need you to make the motion. Can you have to actually read the blue.
Okay, read the blue. Right here, the move to adjourn into close.
Yep.
Okay.
And read off all.
Okay. I move to adjourn into closed session pursuant to section 19.5 and of the Wisconsin statutes to consider approval of closed session minutes of June 10th, employment, performance, and compensation matters pertaining to staff, discuss approve superintendent goals for 2024 to 2025, and then we will return to open session.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Spindler and a second by Ms. Connick to move to closed session. Please call the roll.
Ms. Spindler,
Here.
Ms. Connick,
Yes.
Ms. Schultz,
Yes.
Mr. Zelinski.
Yes.
We are moving into closed session and return to open session around 7 o'clock. It is now 7 o'clock, and we are returning from closed session into open session. In recognition of the serious and important nature of our efforts here, we will join in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. For all those who are able, please rise. And now, for those who wish to prepare for the meeting, we will have a moment of silence. This is a public meeting of the Board of Education. Prior to this meeting, notice was given to the public last Friday by providing the agenda to the City Library. The agenda was also posted on the district website. A copy of the agenda was forwarded to the Journal Sentinel, the Waukesha Freeman, and the Waukesha Now, all of which have filed requests for all public notices. We begin this evening with a recognition of the robotics team, New Berlin Blitz, Team 5148.
Hi, everybody. We are the members of the New Berlin Blitz robotics team. We are the first robotics team for the district. My name is Victoria Paul. I go to New Berlin West, and I will be a senior this year.
Michael Webb. I go to New Berlin Eisenhower, and I'll be a sophomore this year.
My name is Suhana. I go to New Berlin Eisenhower, and I'll be a freshman.
My name is Jack Spielman. I go to New Berlin West, and I will be a sophomore this year.
And then we are here today to tell you a little bit about our team and just how we work as a club.
Our robotics team is part of an organization called FIRST, which stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. And they're basically the people who run the competitions and help us administrate it.
What our competition looks like, it's unique each year. They release a new competition theme every year in the beginning of January. So our build season starts in January. After that, we have 6 weeks to design and build a robot. Even though we do only have 6 weeks to build and design the robot, the season is pretty much year-round. We start in about late November, early December, trying to just get ready for the competition season a little bit before we learn about what the objective is for the year. And then we go, we have 2 competitions. One is usually in around late March, and then one's mid to late April. And then after we have our final competition in late April, we go throughout the summer, and we still have meetings throughout the summer, leading up to then the next November when we kind of just start the whole process over again.
So robotics provides a unique competitive platform for students to compete distinct from traditional sports. We try to collaborate with each other, with other teams, to promote a sense of unity. And at our banquet every year, we give out junior varsity and varsity letters. And we are the only organization that is not a sport to give out junior varsity and varsity letters.
This year, our game was tasked around picking up these orange rings off the field floor and scoring them in multiple different scoring positions, along with other ways to score, such as climbing on a chain and parking in multiple different places. And the first 15 seconds of every match is called autonomous, where the programming will run the robot for 15 seconds on its own, and there will be no human interaction with the robot. And then the next 2.5 minutes of the game will be run by the drive team, who are the 4 players on the field ready to drive the robot and interact with how the game works. This is just a picture of what our competitions look like every year. This was at the Panther Arena down in Milwaukee, and we have large competitions that last anywhere between 3 and 4 days. And this was just an example of one of our matches. And on the next slide, there will be a small clip of one of our matches.
There we go. Okay, so slight technical difficulty. We've been having videos, like, even at our banquet this year, we had trouble with one of our videos playing, so I promise it's a really great video. We did great. If we can get it to work, I promise that we will show it to you.
Our team members learn various skills in the various sub-teams. As the software lead, I can testify to say that the software members, they learn a lot of important skills. They learn the principles of programming. They learn how to handle like workflow and yeah, a lot of other useful skills.
On our hardware sub-team, we are tasked with basically building the majority of the robot, building the both mechanical and the electrical versions of it. So we design an electrical board and all the mechanical aspects of the robot with motors and other forms of mechanical hardware. And this is a great place to learn regular like engineering skills that will be used in fields all across STEM. And this is one of our sub-teams. Thank you.
Finally, I am the lead of our business sub-team, and we essentially do everything that is not building or programming the robot. So we work a lot with reaching out with our sponsors. So we do a lot of in-community work and reaching out to those sponsors, talking to them, gaining more sponsors, going to places like businesses, and asking, hey, do you want to hear a little bit about our team? We also work with all of the fundraising. So just this last Friday, a couple of our team members went to Sendix, and you could see that we had a nice booth outside of Sendix, and we do fundraising that way. They were selling, I believe it was hot dogs and like hamburgers, things like that. And then we also do things concerning award submissions. So there's certain awards that you have to submit every year to be, like as a part of FIRST, it's kind of one of the it's something that's required for competition. So we have one that's called Impact Award that we talk about our team and what our team does and our impact on our community. And then we also have one called Woody Flowers, which is where we talk about one of our mentors for the year and just how they help our team and how they contribute to FIRST. Moving on a little bit. So our team is essentially run like a small business. We keep track of financial records. That's another thing that the business sub-team does. Every year we create a business plan, so kind of what our goals are, what we want our team to accomplish, kind of what we see our team as, and we also work in organized departments, so that's kind of our sub-teams that we were talking about. We have our team split into 3 categories, and those kind of they work in specialized fields of what we do on our team. We also work with maintaining and evolving policies and procedures, so things like safety and how we think that our team should operate, views of our team, and like what our beliefs are. And then also just standard team image, we work a lot with that, and making sure that we hold ourselves to a high esteem and making sure that we look like an accomplished and professional team. These are just some pictures. So the 2 to the right are pictures during our meetings. You can see we host our meetings in room 149, which is just over that way. And you can see that some of those pictures are just our team members working on our robot. And then you can see picture in the bottom left-hand corner is our incredible drive team. We have a drive team every year, and they are the people that control the robot during the competition. So we are very proud of them, and we are very grateful for them. And then the top picture on the left is a couple of our team members who went to an Admirals game along with a couple other FIRST teams that are in our area. And we kind of just let people know about our team. We let people look at our robot. We talked about what our team does, and if anybody was interested. And we just spread the word of FIRST a little bit and let them know what we were about. So next, talking about how our team prepares our members for the future a little bit. We are incredibly hands-on beyond the classroom. So I know that we have classes such as like Project Lead the Way classes, and we also have like shop classes here in our district. But beyond that, students get a lot of hands-on experience building our robot and programming our robot, and even with business sub-team, learning how out to people in the community that usually you wouldn't get the experience to. And so people get a lot of experience with that and reaching out to people within the community and also just learning how to build a fully functioning robot in 6 weeks to then perform in a competition. We also work a lot with college and career readiness. You can see a couple pictures of our alumni and their respective colleges. And a lot of what FIRST is about is getting ready or getting students ready for their careers and for their future. A lot of our team members do end up going into fields related to the sub-teams that they were on. So we've had a couple of our business members go into business majors. We've had a lot of our, previously we had mechanical and electrical sub-teams instead of just hardware, but we had a lot of our electrical team members go into electrical fields or go into electrical engineering. We had a lot of our mechanical members go into mechanical engineering, and sophomore members, a lot of them end up going into some sort of programming major. And then another thing that is really, really, really great about FIRST is their scholarships. So I think if I got the number correct, they offer about $23 million in scholarships every year for children who are a part of the organization. And that's really great, especially as somebody who's going to be a senior and is going to need to take advantage of all of the scholarships that I can get. But they are very generous with their scholarships. You can apply for any of them. As long as you're a part of the FIRST organization, you can apply for any of the scholarships that they have. And they have, thousands of scholarships. They also have scholarships related to females in STEM. So they have a lot that are trying to get females to go into STEM-related fields and trying to increase the number a little bit of having females in STEM, which is really great. And they're a fantastic program to help you through college. Now I get to talk a little bit about our mentors. So 60% of our mentors are alumni or returning or parents of alumni. So you can see 4 of our lovely mentors there. They were all members of the team about 5 years ago. They're all incredible mentors, and I think that it says a lot about our team that a lot of our alumni want to come back, and after they've gotten done with college, or some of them are still even in college, and want to come back and dedicate their time and dedicate their patience to helping further our team and helping to help our team and helping each of our members to learn what they experienced on the team and to help in any way they can. And then another really great accomplishment is that our mentor, or lead mentor, Jeff Paul, also my father, won Volunteer of the Year this year at our Milwaukee Regional down at the Panther Arena. And he has been a part of FIRST for 21 years, and he loves the organization. He volunteers as a robot inspector or lead robot inspector, and he essentially makes sure that all of the robots are up to standard, they aren't illegal, they don't have things that they shouldn't have on them before entering the field. And we are very, very proud of him for that. He's an incredible volunteer, and he cares an immense amount about the organization. Clearly, he dedicates all of his time. He was one of the people who helped start the team here, and he's been on multiple other teams in his time in the organization. So we are very proud of him for that. He's sitting back there. He's avoiding looking at us, but so we are very proud of his accomplishment this year.
So our impact to the community is that we hold and attend many outreach events or community programs. So
first, starting out with our STEM fair, we hold the STEM fair in the West cafeteria in like the front area, so like the front lobby of our school. And essentially what it is we have multiple different booths. So we have things like paper airplane making, we have button makers, because a lot of what teams do at competition is that we have like buttons, or you can see wristbands that we hand out to people who come look at our robot and just have like a fun little memorabilia piece that they can take back with them. So we have things like button makers. We also do things like marshmallow towers, so like marshmallows and toothpicks. Basically things that just relate to STEM. We also have things in programming, like we have Scratch programming. We also have one of our team members a couple of years ago built the entire West building on Minecraft. Took him an incredible amount of time. It's incredible. And we have computers that are set up against one of the walls that people can go and play around in the school and like just run around in Minecraft, and they can like build whatever they want, but it's really awesome for them to look at and see. And then we also, we usually have like a raffle where some of our team members will put together baskets and people can win those in a raffle. And then we also invite other organizations within the school or other clubs to come and see. So we've had people from like NHS come and just do some fun little activities. I know one of them did ice cream making one year, and that was a really big hit. But we also invite them to come and just have time, because the event is essentially, it's open to the community. We talk about it on our Facebook, on our Instagram, on our Twitter, and we say anybody who wants to come can come. We can talk about our team. You can have fun. You can go to fun little booths and everything. And it's kind of just there to get some kids that want to see what our team is like or want to be related in fun STEM activities, and just let them come and do that. And then finally, we also have our robot in the middle school gym, and we will run our robot for the duration of the event, and anybody can go in there and drive the robot or look at it. So.
And then next we go to Girl and Cub Scouts. So we attend their meetings and we give them like little like robotics type of activities, so like they know what they're like, what we're talking about, and like they get more of like an experience. And yeah.
Then for Poplar Creek Robot Night, we bring our robot to the school, and then we essentially have two aspects to it. We run our robot in their gym/cafeteria, and then up in their fantastic makerspace. They have a lovely makerspace there. We have little things for them to do. So for the past couple of years, we've had BristleBots, which are essentially like little toothbrush heads, and then you put like a small battery on it, and then they have like little eyes and little arms. And once you connect the battery to the motor, they'll like start running. So it's just like a little baby robot that the kids can then take home with them. And they're always like little kids, and the kids really, really enjoy them. They have a fantastic time making those. And then we also just allow them to see our robot be driven, and we give them the chance to drive a robot. And any kid is allowed to come to that, not just students that are at Poplar Creek, because we host it after school hours. But I know that a lot of the kids really enjoy that, and it's a great experience for us to kind of talk about, hey, like this is what our team does. If you're interested, you can join the team once you get to middle school, because our team is 7th through 12th grade, and I know that all the kids really, really, really enjoy when we come and do that. And then moving on, Fab Lab Nights is something that we hold here. We'll do it like a couple nights where people can come in and use the lovely things that we have in the Fab Lab. So a lot of people will come and design something and then like 3D print it, because we have a lot of the 3D printers there. And I know a lot of the students really enjoy that, because it's mainly students who come to that one. And then
And we also attend high interest days at local elementary schools for kids who are interested in STEM. So again, like we give them little robot type activities. This year we gave them BristleBots to do. And then we usually bring our robot there for them to look at. And this year we brought a robot, and it was the main attraction. Everybody wanted to like drive it and everything. So they got to drive it. They got to like see what it was all about. So if they're coming to middle or high school, or whenever they're coming in, they know what robotics is, and if they're interested, they can join.
So we're looking to hopefully start making some of the first LEGO League teams for some of the elementary schools, which are like a smaller scale version of the first robotics challenge that's meant to get kids into STEM, which will hopefully transition them to when they join the high schools to come to the robotics team.
perfect. Does anybody have any questions for any of us?
I do. The competition you guys had at UW or the Panther Arena, how did you guys do that? How did you place?
We did pretty good. All things considered, we had a couple issues with our robots, but or with our robot during competition, just like things breaking, such as like things like that. But I think we did really good. I think we placed. It was top 20. I think we placed 20th, and there's about 54 teams. So. Yeah. Yeah, we were. kind of like they form, so teams for the competition are 3 teams. So you form what they call an alliance. So you have 3 separate robotics teams that are all forming together as one team. And once you get to like the finals, they will like handpick their teams. So people that are in the top 8 will then pick 2 teams to be with them. And we ended up being like one of the teams. It was really unfortunate that we didn't get picked, but we were one of the teams that was like, if a robot breaks, we're back up. So had to be like ready the entire rest of the competition to like be ready to go on the field. So
one of the things there are 2 things that happened to me when I came from central Wisconsin, very small farming rural school district, down to the school district of New Berlin. There were 2 things that I was surprised by as far as a spectator type of situation. The first one was boys and girls volleyball. Like for some reason, well, first of all, we didn't have boys volleyball up north, but girls volleyball down here is just so intense, it's just incredibly competitive, and it's how hard they hit that volleyball is just crazy. The other thing is going to a robotics competition. And that in and of itself is super intense. The music is loud. There are kids everywhere. They're all probably smarter than me. And it's an incredible place to be. And I had the chance to, talk to several of the kids that were down there. They're learning things like resilience because, for example, I know the competition in Milwaukee, they were having problems with the robot. They have to go back, figure out the issues with it in a timely manner to get it ready to go back out there for a competition. And these kids working together, I mean, it's just amazing. They look like a bunch of honeybees swarming around that robot trying to figure things out. But, I commend you for your work. I want to congratulate the Mentor of the Year. Congratulations, sir, very much. And then I also want to give a shout out to our mentors. I know that Ms. Schultz is back there, Robert Schwagel, you're back there. Both of them are the alumni that they were talking about in the presentation. And there's a lot of great things happening. I think the future is bright for this group based on what the young man mentioned. We're trying to get into the elementary schools with first robotics, or the Lego robotics. And again, I think there are just a lot of great things happening. Congratulations, and thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
if I'm not mistaken, I think we are running a robot, so you guys can see a little bit of what our robot does.
I was going to say, do we
Yes.
get to play with the robot?
Yeah, so just give us a couple minutes. We will get the robot set up, and then we will give you guys a little show of what our robot does.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah. And then just a little fun thing that one of our team members did. We have 6 3D printed robots if anybody wants one. They're robots of our team this year, so would anybody be interested in a cute little 3D printed robot? Yeah? Okay. guys see? We are not the drivers. Yeah, this is not our drive team, by the way. Yeah, so at the 4th of July, the robot will put new wheels on it, and then it'll drive the entire like length of the parade, and the kids always really like it. So. Okay, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. It does go a lot faster. Our driver this year is kind of weird, and he had it set up a different way where like it works for him best. But that's our robot, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for all of the support that the district provides us every year.
Yes, thank you very much. We very much appreciate it.
It's very nice. Thank you. And good luck with your summer competitions. I'm sorry, what? Oh, yes. Right. Right. So yeah, they do some off-season stuff too. All right, then. We'll move on. Privilege of the floor, but I don't believe we have any this evening? None this evening? Okay. I don't have a president's announcement, so then we'll move on to the administrative team report for the superintendent update.
And I'll defer to the items in open session.
Okay. And then we have district reports, which include the incident report, the enrollment report, the suspension report, and the donation report. Since Mr. Seidel's not here, would anybody else read the donation report? Do it? Thank you.
The Herb Cole Educational Foundation supported Tech Ed grant for 2024 to fellow Dana McLaren of $6,000. Kim Seberg support New Berlin School District by paying for a year of lunch for a family in need, $900. And Waterstone Bank support a scholarship at New Berlin West for $1,000, totaling $7,900 for the month. Thank you to the donors.
Yes, thank you. And then the consent agenda, which includes notice, the approval of the minutes of the board meeting on June 10th, the WIAA 2024-25 membership renewal, the WASB renewal, and financial reports. Are there any items that should be pulled out for separate consideration? Do I have a motion for the consent agenda?
I second.
I have a motion by Ms. Crosby and a second by Ms. Connick to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, then all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. On to the regular agenda. We have approved the preliminary 2024-25 budget.
Yeah, so tonight, we are really just want to clarify exactly what we're looking for. There were two proposals presented at the last board meeting, both with all the same assumptions except for one. One of the options is to utilize fund balance at a one-time drawdown starting next school year or the following fiscal year, as opposed to drawing down fund balance every year for the next 4 years. The rationale for our recommendation to do it one time is to minimize the tax impact on our local property taxpayers. Please note that this is simply a preliminary budget for operational purposes. Many things can change between now and October, including even our initial recommendation of drawing down fund balance one time starting next year. For example, we've learned that that we will negatively be impacted by the referendum decision of Milwaukee Public Schools to the tune of approximately $1 million. So we want to make sure that as we learn more about that impact, that we may actually come October delay the drawdown by a year, or it may reinforce the fact that we should do this all in 1 year next year. We won't know that. Those are still things that we're trying to work through as we garner more details, which is very typical. I would say the MPS impact is a caveat to other years. But again, we are recommending the board approve the option of drawing down the fund balance one time for purposes of budgeting at this time.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the preliminary 2024-25 budget?
I move to approve the preliminary 2024-25 budget as presented.
I second.
I have a motion by Ms. Crosby and a second by Ms. Connick to approve the preliminary budget. Is there any discussion? Go ahead.
Correct. Thank you for clarifying.
Okay, then maybe to be official, we probably should do then the motion to specify that we're doing option 2. So do I have a motion to approve the preliminary budget 2024-25, option 2?
Do I amend my motion? Or?
Oh, wait, yes, that's right. You amend your motion.
I'd like to amend my motion to approve the preliminary 2024-25 budget with option 2 as presented.
I second. Or I amend my second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion yet? Then all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. We have a first read on policy 2264 for the new Title IX policy and related policies.
I just want to let the board know that we are not asking for any action tonight. Typical first read, second read would be at the next board meeting in July. Please know there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes right now related to Title IX in general. It is being challenged at the national level. Right now, the challenges do not impact Wisconsin yet, but it's possible that any new injunctions could impact Wisconsin between now and then. And I just want to clarify that all we're trying to do here is be ready for whatever comes our way and the many things that are beyond our control, which is big government and courts. Now, again, what I will say is I completely disagree with the rewritten rules by the federal government, Department of Ed. At the end of the day, though, we need to follow the law as prescribed. And we will be sure to be in a position where the district is ready depending on what happens of what needs to happen by August 1st, 2024. But again, no action tonight.
So then you'll keep us posted on any changes?
I will.
Okay. And any questions then should go to you in the meantime. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, and then we have the approve the superintendent contract modification as has been presented in the packet. Do I have, so this was already discussed in our closed sessions. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the superintendent contract modifications as presented.
I second.
I have a motion by Ms. Crosby and a second by Mr. Zelinski to approve the superintendent contract modifications presented. All those in favor, raise your right hand. So we have 4. Okay, then motion passes. And we have one action item from closed session.
I move to approve the employment services as presented.
I have a motion by Ms. Spindler and a second by Ms. Crosby to approve. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. And then we have our future meetings and dates. Board meetings are generally held the second and fourth Mondays, beginning at 7 o'clock p.m. in Conference Room E at District Office unless noted otherwise. So next meeting, July 22nd, will be back at Eisenhower. And then August 12th and August 26th. Other important events and dates, September 23rd, the annual meeting. Then do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Crosby and a second by Ms. Connick to adjourn. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes. This meeting is adjourned, so now we will be moving into our work session. No, we were going to continue to record because the last time we didn't record, I got two requests to see the recording. So from now on, we're going to record. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, we'll just stay here. And if you're bringing me the clicker. Thank you. Anything, work session, okay. So we have to call to order again. So it is now 7:39 and a quorum of members is present. So the meeting, this workshop of the Board of Education is called to order. Please call the roll.
Ms. Crosby,
Here.
Mr. Helmer, Ms. Connick,
Here.
Ms. Schultz,
Here.
Mr. Seidel, Ms. Spindler,
Here.
Mr. Zelinski.
Here.
Okay, so we'll move into our work session. So every year, we've been doing this now for quite a few years to take a look at how we've done on our past goals and what we want to do for the upcoming school year. So tonight, I want to go through and review the district and the board's mission, vision, goals. Also something new this year is to set guardrails and then go through our basic goal setting framework and set our goals. So I really won't go too deep into this, just to remind you, the school district has set their mission and vision. Of course, those are easily accessible from the website. And then there's always been these 4 strategic goals for the school district, and we've sort of aligned our goals to go along with that. The first one focuses on students. The second one would be on staff. The third one is fiscal responsibility, and then the fourth deals with the community. And so as a school board a few years ago, we determined that our mission as a school board is to oversee the district to live out its mission through accountability, vision, community leadership, and policy. And we also decided that our vision is the same as that of the district. And so this past year, we decided, we didn't change our goals very much. What we did change, though, were the action items, the things that would be the key results. So the first goal has been constantly strive to increase student achievement through opportunities and accountability. And last year, we determined we wanted to support the superintendent in achieving his academic goals. Pretty much this year has been encouraging ongoing evaluation of the ELA. And then have administration create a dashboard on the website to track student performance on a rolling 3-year basis, which is ready to go live now, July 1st. So that has been shared with the board to review. So if you have any feedback, please give that if you haven't already. And then number 2, staff, increase job satisfaction and make the school district an attractive employer. Last year, we determined we were going to obtain a comprehensive staff wage assessment to ensure compensation was comparable and competitive to the other high-performing districts around us. And so that was provided to us last November. And then also assess turnover data to ensure that there was a continued low attrition rate, and particularly staff voluntarily leaving to go to other districts. And so that was provided to us back in September. So that was for the 2022-23 school year. And just recently, the preliminary 23-24 numbers were shared with us at the last board meeting. And so turnover has remained low. We did note, though, this year there was an increase in the number of teachers leaving the profession completely, which also seems to be something across school districts. And then for the fiscal objective, we act with fiscal responsibility and be good stewards of physical assets. Last year, we determined we wanted to obtain from the administration a report on how much money has been received in sponsorships and where money is now or how it has been used and what are the plans to use it in the future. And that was provided to us back in October. And then increase Fund 41 annual funding from $1 million to $1.2 million for the next preliminary budget. And so that was done and it was presented in the budget back in September. And then also our budget hearing, which was, the budget hearing was in September, and then we also had the meeting in November where it was shown that was done. And for the community, we want to engage the community more. This one we did slightly change because prior year, we had a more specific one. This one we kept it more general, engage the community more. And we determined that what opportunities are remaining for sponsorships, and so that was part of that other goal was determining what we had left for sponsorships, and then also to promote the dashboard. So I think I realized after I read this, I'm like, oh, we were supposed to be promoting the dashboard. Well, we really couldn't do that because it wasn't created yet, but now once it is created, that will be something we will be doing is promoting that dashboard out there in the community so they can always have a really a good snapshot to see how we're performing. So something new adding this year is guardrails, which I've shared with some of you already. Picked up a book at last year's WASB convention, which is called Great on Their Behalf. So actually I asked Ann to get everybody a copy. I think for this school year, I think it would be good for everybody to read it. Found it to be a really helpful resource. And so a guardrail, according to the book, is created, guardrails create the non-negotiables that must be honored while moving through the goals on the way to the vision for improved student outcomes. And so guardrails are not actually directives to the administration. They basically tell people, or in this case, the administration, what we don't want them to do, but we want to leave those other options available to them. And as we've been talking, just discussions throughout this past few months since I went to this last convention, what I was hearing these are what I've gathered so far, what I've heard from you. And so I wrote them down already just to come prepared with them, since these are things that I've already heard. One was do not review new curriculum to be chosen without involving the board from the beginning, which is one of the reasons now we do have one board member being part of the math curriculum selection. And then do not significantly alter the organizational chart without first consulting the board. That just came up in our discussions when we learned that there was going to be some organizational change. We just wanted to be known about that ahead of time. And then do not recommend to hire or promote without first notifying the board of any legal issues or accusations of misconduct. And then do not include consolidation of schools under a referendum as an option to cover the cost of expenditures. And that's something actually that's been ongoing for the last 5 years. Something about the guardrails also that the book hits on is how the school board is really here to know the culture of the community and to just follow through on the visions of the community, and that this has always been one of the big ones in the community, is to be able to do the balancing of the budget within the operational budget that we have without going to referendum. So I'll start here with, is this something you agree with? Do you want to keep these guardrails? Do you have additional ones you'd like added?
I think they're spot on.
Spot on?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you think that a guardrail would be class sizes or not? Would that not be, like, do not have class sizes over the board's limit? I don't know.
I don't know. I know, because I haven't finished reading the book. So it was definitely describing guardrails of, like, for instance, yeah, I suppose it could be. It's basically saying that if there's certain things that are important to the community, the board can put that in a guardrail and say, okay, you can reach these goals, but you just cannot use this as an option. So there could be a way to put that in there. How would you word it? And the weird thing, normally you like to things that are positive. They actually said the guardrails are supposed to be written in a negative manner. Do not do this, kind of a thing.
Don't we already have working numbers for that? Recommended class sizes?
Yeah, the recommended class sizes.
Or maximums? I thought the last meeting we,
Okay, so like, do not increase class size beyond recommended limits. Which, that's feasible, right? I mean, you're already pretty much doing things beyond. That makes sense. Okay, so if I were to say, do not increase class sizes beyond recommended limits, everybody seems to be good with that? Okay. Okay. All right, so I'll add that into there. Anything else?
This is a working list so that we can add to it as we go?
Yes. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, and as long as we're making it clear, we're communicating with the administration.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't have anything else to add.
Okay. Good. Should I move on? Okay. All right, so goal setting for this year. Something else I picked up from the book is it really emphasizes a lot adult inputs versus the student outcomes, and how a lot of times boards really focus on the how and not so much on why they exist. And so this is something he wrote in the book, was school boards exist to create the conditions for improved student outcomes by representing the vision and values of the community. And so anytime school boards are focused primarily on the how, they have stopped being focused primarily on the why, whether or not the children are better off. And so I know our goals, a lot of times are going to be more the how. We don't have to exactly do it like this, but just something I thought was, I found that really interesting is that, a lot of times school districts might focus on, oh, we're going to improve our facilities, or we're going to add this class, with the intent that it's going to have better outcome. But the funny thing is they never actually end up measuring the outcome in the end. So the goal was really that the students perform better, and the input was just making changes. So as we work through our 2024-25 goals, keep in mind what the board can help the school district do to reach its goals. Also, we've just been setting goals also with Joe. And it's made a lot of sense that we pretty much align our goals to be the same, because we're really doing the same thing. Anything that we're going to decide is something that he's going to have to carry through on anyway. The other thing is, of course, we've talked about this before, about SMART goals, making it specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely. And this is something, OKRs is something I've used in my own job that I found helpful, whereas you set the objective and then you do the key results that you want to see happen afterwards, in order to show that you've actually met your objective. And so I have, again, the goals that we've set before. And so this is our time to decide, do we want to keep the main goal? And then, like we've done in the past, we've just changed our action items that we want to accomplish in order to reach that goal. So I did just set up each of these goals as is, with the action items left blank for now. Or we can totally do something different if we wanted to. So, thoughts?
Keeping the goals the same, but changing the action items.
I agree.
Agreed. Okay. Okay, so then we'll start with, if you want, we'll start with goal number 1, the student achievement. Do we want our student achievement to be, I'll go back to, what did we have it last year? Again?
Or the superintendent in achieving his academic goals.
Same thing, okay. So
What we
whatever
had
those are
last
gonna
year,
be.
Which I would think would be appropriate for action item this year.
Okay.
Is the action item going to be the evaluation of the ELA curriculum? Is that how we're going to use it as of right now for the students?
Yes.
So is there a particular goal that we can put in mind as a way to implement other ways in the classroom to help them with the curriculum? Maybe, as we've talked about in previous meetings, giving these teachers a little bit more gray area to teach some of this curriculum, to get across to the kids a bit better, to see if that might have an improvement, instead of teaching it verbatim by the book. I don't know how to necessarily put that in a goal, but it's been something
Yeah.
that we've talked about variously through meetings, to where there's got to be something that could be done in the classroom with the teachers to maybe either help them or help the students grasp this curriculum better.
I think that's in line with what the administration does, and not so much what we would be able to dictate, or not dictate, but like,
Drive.
yeah, drive. I like that.
Okay?
I know what you're getting at. That's why I think we put support the superintendent, because, you know, if he comes to us with ideas and then we sort of like, yes, we like that, no, we don't like that, kind of a thing, maybe, or. We'll have the dashboard up already. What else?
One of the questions I asked Janet throughout the current school year was, what does support the superintendent in achieving his academic goals look like? I know that in our conversation, it was related to financially supporting things, but I guess I would ask the board to discuss further on, what does that mean to you? And what would it look like?
So what do you think?
Think like what Allison said, like if you foresee needing more support in the classroom or more reading coaches, like being able to support you in that, you know, financially, but also, I don't know, I guess, you know, just being able to support that. That's how I see it.
I agree. To me, it's, we're willing to support any resources or consider resources that you need to execute. it's hard to put that in dollar terms, but at least it's being open and collaborative to get what you need to get the job done. It's hard to put that in numbers, though. Because I assume it's the coaches, it's the additional staff, it's possibly, it's manpower, staff power to get the,
Professional development.
Yeah.
I know, me too.
Is there something we can do, like the word through opportunities, is there something we can do about like increasing opportunities or maintaining those relationships with like WCTC to provide more opportunities? Like, is there some kind of goal we can do around opportunities?
Are you thinking of the community goal?
No, like to give the kids like the ability to go out and get welding certificates or whatever they're doing. Like, we want to encourage that still. So I don't know if that's.
Yeah, so you're sort of thinking like, because we want to increase student achievement through the opportunities, so are we fully taking advantage of the, oh my gosh, the
Dual enrollment.
Yeah, dual enrollment and things like that. Okay, so question then to Joe, are we fully using all of our opportunities for students to do things, maybe like in the trades is what you're thinking? And
Yeah.
is there anything more we would do? Yeah, you can go ahead, Kelly.
I mean, every opportunity that we have, GPS, WCTC, Craftsman with Character, we keep increasing our number of students who are receiving industry credentials every single year. We had a goal to increase the amount of girls in CTE and STEM courses, and we have we continue to increase those numbers. We do any opportunity that comes to us, we always review it and see if it's a value add for our students. And as Joe's always said, in high school, our students drive our schedule. So whatever they are wanting to pursue, we do our darndest to make sure that they have that opportunity.
A goal around that we could, as a board, like support you guys in that, or?
Well, I think it goes back to the same thing that we've been saying, like what problem are we trying to solve? If there's a specific percentage, if you look at our CCR dashboard, you can see how many students are earning industry credentials, how many are taking career courses. If there's a percentage that the board would like to hit based off of our 2024, 2023 CCR dashboard, that might be a starting point for you to look at just as a baseline.
I think, for example, if you look at our data dashboard, which is now on our new publicly published, what are we calling it again? The dashboard, district dashboard. Well, we have a data dashboard in CCR, but we've been averaging over 80% of kids that are college, career, and life ready based on the academic, career, and life readiness indicators. Now, is that something the board wants to maintain? But there are different levers that, because so Amy, like, while you may want us to increase some of the career stuff, the class may decide that they're more college driven. And so they may not, they'd almost rather choose the college track than the career track. And we value both, so it's difficult to kind of put, for me to be able to say, yes, I encourage that. Well, I want kids and their families to determine what's best for them. And it's not a judgment. They're both equal, in my opinion, good.
I guess I was just talking about opportunity. That was the word that keyed me in, like giving
Opportunities.
children, the kids, the opportunity to do the trades, to do college. Like, I think we do a great job, and just wondering if there's a way to make a goal out of that.
Yeah, and so again, I would look at that, the CCR dashboard for something for the board to consider looking at. So for example, distinguished college and career-ready graduates we've trended up approximately an average of 41 to 42%, with overall college and career-ready graduates averaging about 82%. So something to consider.
So are we wanting the action items to be tactics to achieve the goal, overall goal? Is that what we're? Yes. Okay. Do we want to define, I know we've asked Joe and the team to present. I mean, is that a tactic of the Fast Bridge scores and everything? Is that a tactic that we would want to define?
Yeah, because I think that's what we did a lot last year with our goals, is because we're not actually doing it.
Yeah.
Our request was a lot like, give us the information.
Yeah.
We want this information.
And that's just, I mean, that's going to happen because that's expected.
But these goals are then a nice way for you to know what's important to us.
Agreed, that does help too, yes.
I'm trying to take to heart what you said, where what does support the superintendent in achieving his academic goals, and our goal is student achievement through opportunities and accountability. Well, the accountability piece of it is the tactic to get there is to have the data delivered to us in a timely manner, whatever that would be. I don't know. So that it's specific and it's not, the strategy is, or the goal is opportunities and accountability, and how are we going to get there?
But now I get where Amy was going because it's the first part of it, which is the opportunities piece.
Yeah.
We've been very heavy on the accountability piece, I know that. I've felt it.
Well, we can always come back, because like I said, we're going to have another chance.
Just me personally, I would like to see that, because then I think it's very clear, like when you look at this, okay, what does the board expect from us or from the admin is, yeah, we want to have that data delivered to us in a timely manner so that the accountability piece of it, and I understand, like, I don't think that we need to limit action items to just two, we could have more than.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it just happened to be last year we had two. The year before that, we had a lot more, so. All right, so you're looking, let's see, you're going to add to that data delivered to us in a timely manner as part of the action item there, and then
And then maybe something about analysis too.
an analysis, okay. An analysis.
So Janet, I feel some of the actions here relate to Joe's SMART goals. So he's going to finalize his SMART goals, and there's going to be some things that come back as feedback, like, yeah, I can sign up for this, but in order to achieve A, B, and C, this may be the support I need. So I think some of this is related to what we agree in the coming weeks for the superintendent's SMART goals. So any support or feedback needed to get to where we want to go, that may be the link there to help define this. Because there will be things on there that are somewhat aggressive and may need some additional resources, whatever that may be.
So feedback needed to get to where we want to go is part of that, supporting the superintendent in achieving his goal. Am I understanding that right?
Yeah, is that fair, Joe?
Oh,
Is that fair, how I said that?
Yeah, I think alignment is critical, and so I think that's certainly heading in that direction.
And so the other one, Amy, you were saying is something related to career ready.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we can just have like a, you know how Kelly does a presentation on new course that we're adding? Could they do a presentation more on like, what are these different opportunities? So I could see kind of what we also offer our students. That just not only EP classes, is that we're offering other types of classes for our kids.
So again, even there, Amy, similar to what we did this last year, was bringing a presentation to the board of, here's their current state, here's where we're looking to move. Just that, I mean, providing that info to the board, if you look at, like even like our staffing stuff, bringing you the data related to pay and so on, this could be something similar to that as well.
All right, do we want to move on from this one? We always go back. Okay. Oops, where did I go here? Oh, that was last year's. Okay. I'll stick with last year's up there anyway. Okay, so where do we want to do with staff? I know we were talking a little bit about superintendent goals in regards to staff. We want to do the same thing for us?
I would like to see what areas where we scored the lowest in, and then make some goals around increasing satisfaction in those areas. Or maybe it's kind of a goal for Joe, so maybe our goal would be
Provide the data analysis again. Mhm. Anything else?
I feel like both these items are just gathering information and not action oriented and actually doing something with the data, or maybe it does say that, but my first read of this is kind of
Yeah.
obtain a study or obtain an assessment and assess turnover data, but there's,
Yeah, as a board, our main job is to approve policies, so we're not directing like how things get done. I think it's more, our goal should be more around how we can support Joe, kind of, like, how we can
Yeah,
support
it's
Joe.
the accountability part. So like, the goal is to increase job satisfaction and make the school district an attractive employer. We can't be hands-on with that. So that's why it's like our job to say, okay, here's your goal as a superintendent, and now here's what we're gonna do to keep you accountable, sort of. I think that's sort of how our goals go, because we're not doing the day-to-day part of it. Unless there was something specific we wanted to see happen.
I think in terms of the data, at least on the second one, is to kind of capture the key factors rather than just get data, but be able to identify the key items that would be driving low attrition rates. Maybe it's sorting through that and getting the critical factors identified.
So identify the key factors driving the low attrition rate, did you say?
I'm just reading, it says assess turnover data to ensure continued low attrition rates. So it's assessing turnover data to understand the key drivers of dissatisfaction and being able to align with Joe on what those are, so we can understand Joe's actions, plan to perform against that. Maybe that's the best way to say it.
Assess the survey, yeah. Okay. And so these are the ones we did last year, so we don't have to keep these. But what I'm hearing from you all is basically something similar, but to assess the survey data, to identify the key factors that drive the lower satisfaction rates.
Correct.
And then,
You keep saying our job is the why.
yeah,
Figure out the why behind this.
figure out why.
Anna, correct me if I'm wrong, last year we worked with Nicole to understand what the questions were on the survey?
Yeah, actually, didn't we do that as a personnel committee?
Yeah.
That's something else you could do too, is have a personnel committee work with the administration on that project too. What would we want to do, work on that with her?
I mean, depending on what the analysis shows as far as some of the low satisfaction, maybe refine some of the questions if we want more specific data
Okay.
surrounding that.
After the survey's done, possible refining questions?
I like the, having the committees kind of feed into some of these action items because they fall, like personnel is the staff, I have finance committee, you have the facilities committee, so they kind of feed into these goals. And then, but that's a way, by having these committees that we can kind of keep an eye on, make sure that the district is performing the way we would want it to. So I agree, we should put something in there for the personnel committee.
Okay. Okay, sounds like we pretty much have that covered. Should I move on? All right. Fiscal, so these are last year's. What are you thinking here?
We could put something in about the task force
Okay.
and long-range planning.
The long range, okay.
Guess that could be under community too.
Yeah, and we did span,
Yeah.
our goals sort of covered each other last year. So something to do with the task force and the long-range plan.
I think for me, as I was determining within my evaluation and protocols, I felt that was more of a community-driven,
Okay.
collaboration-driven,
Okay.
feedback-driven part, and not so much the financial, because quite honestly, we're move forward if we can get fundraising efforts, but it's not necessarily a financial impact to the board. So it's, to me, it's more of a community goal.
I amended my feedback.
Okay, I'm going to put that under
No,
community.
I think it is valuable.
No, that was good feedback from you.
Yeah.
Knowing that. Yeah.
Is there something we can do with the finance committee? It's like oversee, not oversee, but like, review the budget quarterly or something, I don't know.
What about something with the debt in here, where the finance committee helps working on whatever plan is for the remaining debt payoff?
I mean, if you want real alignment, that goal
Yeah.
mirrors the goal that I have already.
Uh-huh.
It can be duplicated.
Yeah, and that's totally what I'm thinking even, yeah. I was just trying to think, like, how could the board assist in that way, what is it besides just giving us?
Well, just making sure that the board is making an informed decision based off of the information that I'm providing.
Okay,
Um,
an informed decision, that's a good one.
And again, like I said, there's still a lot of moving parts between now and October. And the impact that now, again, this MPS disaster, for lack of a better term, is going to impact us as well, so.
Okay, so I think definitely address budget, debt. Else? Fund. Was there a Fund 46 we were considering?
Yeah, that was included in the
That
budget
was part of the
packet.
budget? Okay,
And really, all that's doing is we're introducing it to be set up the following year and to allow it to just get it established. So we'll be seeking a resolution approved by the board next year.
Is there a goal we want to put into that fund?
Not yet, because it's really just, it's establishing the goal is the big piece right now, so that we can get it set up for future strategy.
Renee, were you going to say something?
Oh, I was thinking back to the student achievement. Do we want to put something about class sizes in that for key actions?
Well, we did it as far as guardrail. You want
Guardrails.
something beyond that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if we want to, because I know there's been a lot of discussion around that. We want to review what our recommendations have been, because we've said to follow the board recommendations, but
Yeah.
we want to, when's the last time we reviewed that? Did we review it last year, as far as what our goals?
We just reviewed them, yes.
But as far as what the number is that we,
The average of 25 in K3, no more than the average of 25 in grades K3, no more than an average of 30 in grades 4, 6. Which is what was just agreed upon probably 9 months ago.
What are you thinking?
Again, the goal for the board was to keep abreast
Yeah.
of the information.
yeah,
I would just be careful, I would just caution, generally speaking,
Yep.
similar to what Janet mentioned earlier, is that some of this work is administrative work, not board work. We need to be real careful with that. But again, it's not to say that I have barriers or guardrails of which within to operate, which is helpful that those have been solidified. And I do know that that's important to the board, hence why we've been bringing the updates to the board.
Renee, if we add that language to the guardrails, will that help? What you're, look at that specific language,
yeah,
No more
I'm
than
just thinking what
25?
we had said in the guardrails, or what the board recommends. Are we,
We didn't define the numbers, we just said don't exceed the max.
yeah,
Oh, the recommended limit.
yeah. I just want to make sure that we're defining, yep.
I wrote, do not increase class sizes beyond recommended limits. That was it for the guardrail. So is that too general?
We just reviewed that this year.
Are you saying like review as in review whether or not? Okay, I know, I'm starting to understand.
Because I think one of the key factors in when we presented to the board was a number isn't just a number. There are several factors that are included in that number, which are, for example, number of students with high needs in that specific section, how many teacher assistants, whether spec ed assistant, regular ed assistant are in there, that it's not just a raw number. You can't look at it just that way. Kids are not widgets, they're complex beings, and it's so much more is involved with that. Sorry, Allison, you actually said it better earlier, but that's kind of what I heard you say.
Sorry, I
No, that's okay, because you thought of it. Shall we go back to fiscal, besides what we have for the finance committee, working with administration on the debt payoff plan, so that we make informed decisions as a board? I guess there's really nothing to do with Fund 46 yet. Do we want some sort of goal for Fund 41 or for our fund balance? The long-range facilities plan, I think, isn't there a link now from the dashboard, I think? Yeah. Yeah, you can
Yes.
check out the dashboard, it's nice.
And it has its own designated, I mean, we actually link to the website that has all the details on our dashboard.
They could, they haven't done it in a while. We could do that as a goal this year. Okay. Have the facilities.
We've been
committee-
bringing it to the full board because you can't look at facilities in isolation without funding. So, I mean, I think you could still do it, Amy, but reviewed by the full board, not so much the facilities committee. Again, that's how I've just felt like you can't talk facilities without the funding behind it. They go hand in hand. But you could still have a goal related to us bringing something to the full board.
We're gonna have the facilities committee review the long-range facilities plan. Let's see, I think we might have some crossover on the facilities committee and the finance committee. Look who's on those. Well, let's just go on to the next one. Can always come back. Community, so what do we want to do with the community this year? Because I think that dashboard is going to be well received by the community. What can we do to top it this year? Promote it, well, okay, well, now we'll really promote it. And then the task force too, you mentioned, so promote the dashboard. And then the task force, what was it exactly? I didn't write it down. What do we want the task force to be doing or being? Was the goal there or the result?
Just making sure that we fulfill the resolution
Okay,
approved by the board, which includes things like we will provide a summary to the board once the task force
okay,
has completed, but I would keep it high level with ensuring that the resolution is sought through.
yeah, that's
the
good. 'Cause
completion.
That was the guide. Okay, well, I think we're good on the community then by promoting the dashboard and then ensuring the task force fulfills the resolution set by the board. Unless you have something else, anything?
I was approached a couple of weeks ago that maybe the board members should I'm just going to say it kind of raw here, the board members should once in a while visit the schools and kind of see what's happening on the ground floor, but also as a mechanism for us to be visible to the schools and the staff themselves. I know that's kind of getting into the how,
No, I
maybe,
get what you mean.
but I think it's more of a feedback mechanism or a chance to, for your teachers and staff to kind of give input, and maybe something like each one of us has a visit to a school or.
So a couple years ago, we did have this as a goal, and I had suggested that everybody does at least one activity that has nothing to do with their kid. It's been really hard to get people to do stuff. So I'll say I've done it. I've done high interest days. I do a junior achievement. I try to get into the schools doing some sort of volunteer work. I highly recommend it. I do it. The weird thing is, though, is I never make a big deal out of who I am when I go. I sort of go incognito. So I don't know if like visibility, like, are you suggesting that they know you're a board member when you go in?
I didn't get a a lot of details on it, like I didn't ask a lot of questions, but I think it might relate to some of that communication stuff, that came up a couple of weeks ago. It might relate to just engagement.
Was this from a parent or a staff member? The suggestion?
I think both.
Oh.
I think both.
Well, I would still put it on there. I still think it's really good to like do at least one activity within the schools that's not related to your own child, just to see what else is going on.
I mean, something to consider is having that as a guardrail, since it's a consistent objective and not necessarily an annual goal.
Well, the guardrail is supposed to be things that the board doesn't want the administration to do.
Oh,
Yeah, at least according to the book, so.
What I was suggesting was a visit not to do, your job, but just for engagement and possibly to get feedback. I mean, all of us, most of us on the table here work for companies, and we interact with different levels of our leadership all the time for various things. So that's what I'm kind of comparing it to.
I think it's good. You can put it on there. Yep.
We want to have something about the foundation for community engagement.
We could.
If we're thinking about attending events, our foundation has events and the district has events all year. I went to the, yeah, I went to the Twist event.
Uh-huh.
It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Kudos again.
So in addition to, like, if we get an opportunity to visit a school, for whatever reason, also participate in foundation activities? I always make a stop at the tent at the 4th of July, so everybody that's coming up, the foundation will have a tent at the 4th of July again, I assume?
yeah, and just a friendly reminder that we also have a new concert series that's
Oh, yeah.
supported by the foundation. So you can actually have a drink, watch entertainment, and attain your goal. How much better can that get?
Okay, so I added those. I mean, we could wrap it up now if we want, because we're gonna revisit these anyway, so you can like think about it in the weeks to come and before we finalize them. Okay? All right, well then a motion to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.